Hello and welcome to World News Today. Here are the top breaking stories for you. Clashes break out as Trump attends LA fundraiser. Trump names Robert O'Brien National Security Advisor. Democratic donor arrested on meth charges. Trump announces increased sanctions on Iran. President Trump's day-long visit to California was marked with violence as multiple fights broke out in Beverly Hills as the president visited the West Coast to boost coffers for his 2020 re-election campaign. CBS Los Angeles reports that demonstrators and Trump supporters fought in front of the upscale Beverly Hills Hotel after an American flag was lit ablaze. Mr. Trump was attending a nearby fundraiser hosted by area real estate developer Geoffrey Palmer, one of the Republicans' biggest donors to date. According to Federal Election Commission data, Palmer has donated $3 million to the pro-Trump PSC Rebuilding America Now. CBS Los Angeles reports that multiple groups of people were seen trading blows, grabbing signs and fighting in the streets. Several people were initially detained by LAPD, but no one was arrested following the scuffles. Tickets to the fundraiser reportedly start at US $1,000 for individuals and go up to US $1 lakh for couples who will also get to attend a VIP reception and have a photo opportunity with the President, Mr. Trump. He is also particularly unpopular in the state of California, so much so that the names of the fundraiser attendees are being kept quiet. A June poll from the Public Policy Institute of California found 38% of likely voters in the state approve of how the president is handling his job. The president is expected to haul in US $15 million across 4 fundraisers over the next 2 days. A GOP official tells CBS News Mark Knoller the money will benefit Trump victory, which funds both the president's re-election campaign and the RNC. President Trump has tapped Robert O'Brien to be his new national security advisor, replacing ousted former national security advisor John Bolton. O'Brien is currently the State Department's special presidential envoy for hostage affairs. O'Brien had been among the top candidates for the position. Mr. Trump announced his pick in a tweet Wednesday morning. I'm pleased to announce that I will name Robert C. O'Brien, currently serving as the very successful Special Presidential Envoy for Hostage Affairs at the State Department, as our new National Security Advisor. I have worked long and hard with Robert. He will do a great job. The President tweeted from his fundraising trip in California. O'Brien's arrival comes moments after the president announced new ambiguous sanctions on Iran, after drone attacks on a Saudi oil facility resulted in an upheaval of the world's oil supply chain. The position of National Security Advisor does not require Senate confirmation. O'Brien was responsible for helping with the ASAP Rocky case in Sweden after the rapper was found guilty of assault but did not face prison time for it. As National Security Advisor, O'Brien will be responsible for consolidating sensitive information for the president and presenting him with options. Mr. Trump openly said he had serious disagreements with Bolton, and that's why he was pushed out of the position last week. Immediately, O'Brien will be tackling any U.S. response to the Saudi oil strikes. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is scheduled to be in Saudi Arabia the next couple of days to assess the situation. O'Brien will also be in the position to give Mr. Trump guidance on what to do in Afghanistan, which was a major point of contention between Mr. Trump and John Bolton. A West Hollywood man who has made large donations to the Democratic Party was charged Tuesday with running a drug house out of his apartment, where two men died of overdose. Ed Buck was also charged with providing methamphetamine to a 37-year-old man who suffered an overdose last week. CBS Los Angeles reports the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office said Buck, 65, was charged with one felony count each of battery causing serious injury, administering methamphetamine, and maintaining a drug house. He was scheduled for arraignment Wednesday. According to the DA's office, Buck was accused with injecting the victim with methamphetamine at Buck's apartment. The man survived. Buck, who was arrested at his home Tuesday, should be held on US $4 million bail because he is a violent, dangerous sexual predator who mainly preys on men made vulnerable by addiction and homelessness. Prosecutors said in a motion, Buck took advantage of his position of power and offered drugs, money, and shelter to mainly addicted and homeless men in exchange for participating in sexual fetishes, including a fetish that involved administering dangerous doses of drugs. The motion said Buck has no regard for human life. The motion added, Los Angeles County District Attorney Jackie Lacey said in a statement that he remains deeply concerned for the safety of people whose life circumstances may make them more vulnerable to criminal predators. CBS LA notes, with this new evidence, I authorized the filing of criminal charges against Ed Buck. Buck's attorney told CBS LA he would fight the charges against his client vigorously. Buck, 65, has donated tens of thousands of dollars to California candidates, including Governor Gavin Newsom, and is well known as LGBTQ political circles. President Donald Trump announced an increase in sanctions on Iran on Wednesday after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blamed the country for an attack on Saudi oil fields. Mr. Trump wrote on Twitter that he had asked the Treasury Department to substantially increase sanctions on Iran. I have just instructed the Secretary of Treasury to substantially increase sanctions on the country of Iran, Mr. Trump wrote. Saudi Arabia was expected to directly blame Iran on Wednesday for the raid that heavily damaged two oil facilities in the kingdom over the weekend. Pompeo was visiting Saudi Arabia to discuss the attack and coordinate efforts to counter Iranian aggression in the region. According to the State Department, Pompeo tweeted on Sunday that Iran has now launched an unprecedented attack on the world's energy supply, adding that there was no evidence that the attack came from Houthi forces in Yemen, who claimed responsibility. We call on all nations to publicly and unequivocally condemn Iran attack. The United States will work with our partners and allies to ensure that energy markets remain well supplied and Iran is held accountable for its aggression. Pompeo tweeted Iran has denied any involvement, but on Wednesday, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said Saudi Arabia should see the attack as a warning to end its war in Yemen. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin said, the most urgent order of business for Pompeo will be to discuss the installation of better air defenses around the Saudis' oil facilities, which have suddenly proven vulnerable to attack. US intelligence agencies were caught flat-footed, never expecting Iran would be so bold as to attack Saudi Arabia directly. A US official told CBS News the US has identified the exact locations in southern Iran from which the drones and cruise missiles were launched at Saudi Arabia's oil facilities. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman said Wednesday that this country was already beefing up its security measures in the air and the water. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee said the Saudis had also committed to joining a US-backed force to protect vital shipping lanes and oil facilities in and around the Persian Gulf. US officials said experts have examined pieces of the wreckage on the ground, identified the specific type of cruise missiles and drones fired on Saturday, and determined they were made in Iran. A senior administration official told CBS News there was 100% certainty on that point. That's all for now. Hope you enjoyed our coverage. We'll see you later. Thank you very much.